If we say, I'm going to go live every day this week and we don't, we're coming to a place of not being able to trust ourselves. And so that energy goes out and then you wonder why people don't trust you. So that may sound woo, but it's 1,000% true.
Welcome to the Millionaire Maker Show, a podcast helping entrepreneurs scale their businesses online to create more time, more money, more freedom, and more impact. Now, with over 20 years of business building, coaching, and consulting experience, here's your host, author, speaker, and creator of the Millionaire Maker Funnel, Lindsay Anderson.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Millionaire Maker Show. I am your host, Lindsay Anderson, and today we have a very special episode today with guest expert, Miss Judy Weber. Now, Judy has been a one-on-one client of mine. We have worked very closely in the past, and I'm so excited to bring her on the show. Today, we're going to be talking about how to run a simpler business. Stop overcomplicating things. Judy shares with us her 1-1-1 method in order to make more sales and revenue in your business. I can't wait to hop into this interview with Judy. But before we dive into that, I want to share with you about an upcoming live event that I am hosting. If you like the no-nonsense, blatant way that I paint out how to build a business, and you like the strategies that I share, and you've taken them and you've applied them and you've had success with them, and you want to understand how this looks in your business as a whole, and you really want to know more about my revolutionary unlaunch method. The unlaunch method is my proven strategy to sell high ticket services with social media. This thing is step by step. It's exactly what you need in order to scale. Now, I'm always hosting a live event on this powerful strategy. Make sure you head over to lindsaya.com and find the next Unlaunch Method event. Get signed up, and I will walk you through my step-by-step system to sell high ticket services with social media. We give these live events all the time. All you need to do is head over to lindsaya.com and see when our next live session will be. The unlaunch method is truly revolutionary. It doesn't matter if you have a small audience or a big audience. It doesn't matter if you're just starting on social media or if you have 60,000 followers and you just need more people to buy from you. The unlaunch method is what you need to have a marketing and sales strategy and system in your business that will continue to fuel you with high quality customers for years to come. So if you want to know more about those powerful strategies, all you need to do is head over to lindsaya.com. We're always hosting something live, so join us. Now, let's hop into today's interview. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Millionaire Maker Show. I am your host, Lindsay Anderson, and today I have a very special guest on. Her name is Miss Judy Weber, Esquire, and she is a business coach, a mentor, and a scaling strategist, and is on a mission to normalize miraculous results for Christian women in business. Her unique experience in the corporate space, both in winning trials in the courtroom as an attorney, as well as leading senior level management in the boardroom as a C-suite executive, really allows her to help Christian women in business build lucrative businesses with simplicity and joy. I'm very excited to bring her on because she's also a VIP client of mine, and we have worked very closely in the past. So I'm so excited for everyone to meet Judy. Judy, welcome to the show. So glad that you're here.
Thank you, Lindsay. I am so honored to be here.
Judy, can you tell us a little bit about what you're known for?
Yeah, you did mention it. I'm on a mission to normalize miraculous results for Christian women. And so I'm sure you have different ladies in your audience of different faiths, and that's all well and fine. It's so interesting. Can I just say one thing? Like, I believe that success happens when you fulfill the purpose for which you were made. And so I have no doubt that your listeners have this deep heart desire to like impact lives through their business. And so when you go all in on that and you don't worry about the what ifs, but instead your what ifs are actually, yeah, what if I blow this up? What if I succeed beyond my wildest dreams? Like when you fully embrace like that desire and that mission for which you were made, that is when success comes. And I always say success comes as a result of who you believe yourself to be, not who others see you as, because I find that I look at women and I see the beauty in them. I see the talent in them. I see the expert in them. But if they don't see it, they're never going to live it. And last thing I'll say when you say, what am I known for? I am known for teaching my clients how to think strategically to win. And it's so interesting as a lawyer for decades, that's exactly what I learned in that endeavor. Like I had to take bad facts and minimize them and like highlight what was really going to help my case. And so the only way to win is to think strategically. And so I empower my clients to don't say I don't know. I don't know is a lie. And we could talk about these things, but I don't know is a lie. You do know. You're an expert. So stop approaching things from the negative. Let's start approaching things from the positive because that's where truth is. Because again, this is what you're called to.
Judy, will you expound just a little bit more around the idea of I don't know is a lie? Tell me some more about that.
Mm, I love to talk about this because I hear it too often. And even those with multi six figures trying to get to seven figures, and they're like, I don't know what to do next. I don't know what strategy works. Guess what? They all work. Okay. But when I say I don't know is a lie, for me as a believer, we have the mind of Christ. So the Bible says, my thoughts are higher than your thoughts, my ways are higher than your ways. However, and again, when we lean into who we really are, that is when we can access that higher brain that we all have. So when we say, I don't know, that's like an excuse. I don't know. So now I'm going to desperately overconsume. I'm going to watch all these YouTubes. I'm going to download these freebies for looking for that one missing link. That's what they're thinking. I'm missing this one strategy. I'm missing this one something. And I can tell you what it always comes down to is the mindset. It's your perspective. It is your approach. I, in the past 3 months, have worked harder than I ever have, but it has felt more free and more fun than ever before because I don't look at it as, I don't know what I'm doing. I look at it as, I know exactly what I'm doing. I know this will work. How do I know that, Lindsay? Because I'm going to make it work. Because I'm looking at the expectation that I want, and that's where I'm focused. So again, it's about focus, belief, and really, again, leading into who the heck you are and stop minimizing the talent and the expertise that you have.
So I don't know. You're just basically putting yourself in this endless cycle of endlessly searching for the answer when the answer is really you do know because you just need to make a decision to get and start executing.
Yes. And can I
Okay.
just say, I love that you said the word decision
Yes.
making is the most fundamental CEO skill. We need to make decisions and we need to make them fast, but we need to make them like after some obviously consideration, but too long, too many people take too long to make a decision. And so they're
Yeah,
like,
especially in business with as competitive as it is, you just have to make these decisions. Now, I want to talk to you about something, Judy, because you mentioned this. A lot of people who run their business, they definitely co-create with a higher power, whatever that may be. Can you share with me how do you know? Because we you hear this a lot. Is my intuition told me not to do this or that when in reality it's their ego telling them that because they're actually scared of what's on the other side. So how do we know the difference between intuition and our ego when it comes to doing something scary?
ooh, that's so good. Okay. So when the idea of intuition versus ego is self centered. So we say, I'm afraid because I may look like a fool. As opposed to intuitive to say, I'm not going to think about me. I'm thinking about those people that have been set apart for me to serve. And so I'm going to go with my gut. I know that I know. And I'm going to say, gosh, what's one thing that I can tell them today to move them forward? And then we move, even though there's insecurity and fear or doubt, maybe we've got to move forward. We got to trust our gut.
Okay, so really look at if it's just trying to protect you, if you're afraid of looking like a fool, because like I think in business, that's one of the number one things that it's keeping us small. We're going to make a mistake. I don't want to go on social, all these kind of things. I like that litmus test that you've put out there for everyone, Judy. Now, for me, I think you're going to appreciate this
Mhm.
is when it comes to intuition and those kind of things, when it comes to planning out a strategy to actually scale your business, then you can plan that with intuition. But when it comes to intuitively executing, this is what I said I was going to do over the long term. These are my day to day tasks. I'm not going to get wrapped up in the emotion of it all. I
Mm.
just know that I need to execute. I like that strategy can really take that intuition and make it into something that we can actually execute on and then basically put everything on the back burner. What do you think about that, Judy?
I love that. And to me, strategic thinking is what I call power thinking. So let's map it out. Let's make
Yes.
these powerful decisions. from a place of like confidence, calm, and certainty, right? And say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to give myself grace, but I'm going to trust myself that no matter what happens as I do it, I'm going to have my own back. Like we've got to trust ourselves and move forward. And if we say, I'm going to go live every day this week and we don't, we're coming to a place of not being able to trust ourselves. And so that energy goes out, and then you wonder why people don't trust you. So there's that may sound woo, but it's 1,000% true. And I'm sure you'll agree with me on that one.
No, I do. Your customers and your prospects treat you exactly how you treat yourself. Your business is a true reflection of how you feel about yourself and how you treat yourself. I definitely agree with you on that, Judy.
One thing, when you mentioned about playing small, I have a provocative statement on that, if I may.
Okay, and that's why I have you here, Judy. Tell me
Okay.
what is it?
Okay, I'm going to ruffle some feathers here, but I love doing that. Playing small to me is a sin. I don't know where that is in the Bible.
Okay.
Parable of the talents.
Okay.
I don't know if you all know the story, but
Tell us, Judy. Tell us.
very succinctly, there was a master that gave somebody one talent. It's like a coin or something, whatever the talent is. It's like a whatever you want it to be. The master gave one servant one talent. He gave somebody else 3 talents, and he gave somebody else 5 talents and said, bye bye, I'm going away. I'll be back. The guy that was given 5 talents multiplied it into 10. And the master said, ah, well done, good and faithful servant. The guy with 3 talents did the same thing. The guy with 1 talent operated from fear, and he buried it. And do you know what the master said to that servant when he realized that's what he did?
What?
He called him a wicked, lazy servant. Wicked. So what does that tell me? Anybody out there that's holding back? I'm playing small, and you think I'm being humble for it. No, you're not. You're holding back. God made you to do something. Get out and do it boldly, unapologetically, and you won't be afraid, but do it courageously. Do it despite the fear.
You got to do it. She's right. She's absolutely right. She proved it with the Bible right here on the show, everybody. Okay. I think this is the first quoted scripture I've ever had on the show, Judy. So thank you. Actually, same thing. I love it. I love it, Judy. Okay. Tell me, was there a time in your life, Judy, that you realized this, that you were playing small and you were like, oh crap, what have I been doing? I'm sinning. Tell me, was there a pivotal moment?
That was a convicting realization as I was studying the Bible, and God told me that. Hey, Jude, you better tell your clients. By the way, and honestly, you're right. I did that too. But, here's the thing. When I entered law school, I was scared out of my mind, but I was committed to graduate at the top of the class, like I've always done, and getting law review. Now, the first semester, I didn't make law review. I missed it by one person. But what did I do? I didn't kowtow and say, oh no, woe is me. It didn't work. No. The next semester, I was number one of all, and it pulled me up on law review, whatever. But then I realized in entrepreneurship, the reason that I wasn't where I wanted to be was because I didn't decide I'm going to be a 7-figure entrepreneur. That's just who I am. And then I act like that. So again, last year when God really brought that scripture and said to me, this is what it means, and tell the world about that, tell your clients about that, it just reiterates for me, if you're not where you want to be, it's only you standing in your way. So get out of your own way and really step into your power.
And I love how you didn't make it by one person the first time and you came back and you topped the charts the next time. A woman after my own heart, Judy. That's why we get along so well. Tell me, Judy, how do you help the people you consult and coach? How do you actually help them do that? Are there steps? Can you share those steps with us here on the show?
Yes, I'm happy to. So I work with 2 types of women, those in the earlier stage of business who didn't yet reach their first 100K year inside my accelerator. And then I help those at 6 or multi-6 to get towards 7 figures in my mastermind. But in the accelerator, it's really 3 steps to get to your first 100K year. It's really where it begins is having an irresistible higher ticket offer. And so I take my clients through my right offer framework of how to very simply create this offer that's going to blow your best client's mind. But what I just said is the linchpin of that. You have to decide who your best client is. And I know you feel the same with clients. Is who do you serve? They say, I can help everybody. Okay, I love you. That wasn't my question. Who have you decided is your best client? So once you have the offer, then it's about what I call joy infused marketing. Don't do all the things. Decide on one visibility strategy and decide, and then nurture those people that you get in because of your implementation. And then with joy infused marketing, that leads to what I call ethical selling. So it's if your marketing is dialed in because you know your best client and you have an amazing offer, your marketing is going to do the heavy lifting for the sales. So that's basically my 3-step formula.
So it's one offer, one platform or visibility avenue, and sales.
And
Love
like I said, sometimes when you do this, sales calls become less and less because you are not worried about finding your best clients. Your messaging and everything you're doing in the world, in your body of work, it's like it makes it easy for your best clients to find you. And it makes selling just so much easier.
So let's go back to the topic of how you help people find like who they really are and live like what they were meant to be, because that's really the greatest version of themselves. So they have to dig deep and find that. A lot of people have a hard time even knowing what that is. Can you speak to some of the obstacles that people have around that?
Women, I only work with women. So women, in my experience, are so self deprecating. And I find that too, even in a silly example, like if someone says, Judy, I love this shirt. And I might say, oh my gosh, it's 10 years old. Why don't we just say thank you and receive that? Right? Like we're so others focused. And that's a beautiful thing. But when you start a business, you've got to be bold. You've got to assert yourself with the great resignation. There are so many people trying to, I say try for a reason, trying to get a business going, and only those that are serious and really owning, I'm an expert. Even if it's my first year in business, I've got to know that I'm an expert and I don't have to know everything. And I don't have to have worked with hundreds of people to be able to proudly say, let me help you. So, how do I go about that? I have what I call my faith fueled thought model, which I don't have time to get into it here, but basically, it's holding your thoughts about what you think about yourself and your business captive. And it goes back to one of the things we talked about earlier, like the thought, I don't know. That's a lie. A thought, I'm not enough. The thought, I don't know enough, or I haven't helped enough people, or I'm not really an expert. I like to tell my clients, you really need to feel like the best expert for your best client to get them the best results that you deliver. And they're like, oh, I can't say I'm the best. Understand what I just said is very tight. So that's the beginning of that work of really understanding who am I, who did God make me to be, and if I have a hang up and belief on that truth, then that's the inner work that has to be done in order to really know who you are.
I hear that. I hear that. Can you speak a little bit more to, I know you only serve women. Can you speak to certain obstacles that just women have in comparison to like men have been on the business scene all this time and here we are. We're coming up after you guys. Can you speak to that at all?
Oh gosh, can I just start with my opinion and my experience?
Yes.
Women do business better, period. I don't want to offend any men out there, but we are very no nonsense, get it done. Like we love serving clients and we love our families. Like I love that about women. We're not BSers and oh, let's go golfing and waste the day away. Like women just aren't like that. So I love it. But when we're talking about obstacles that women have, it really is like, would a man on a live say, "Ooh, I'm having a bad hair day?" Like we are so into the things that just don't matter. And that's where, again, you have to say, what is it important? What do I need to be in order to be what I call a faith fueled CEO, one that's impactful and profitable? The hair doesn't matter. The clothes really doesn't matter unless it's brand specific. But we really need to get out of our own way and stop worrying about being judged by others, comparing ourselves to others. And yeah, that's the bulk of what I see with women. You've got to stop thinking like you're an influencer. You don't need to be an influencer. I certainly wouldn't want to be an influencer in the way of having my cleavage show everywhere and all of a sudden I'm a superstar. Like that is not an expert to me. And again, it all goes back to your best client. Where's your best client? What's important to them? Show up the way they see an expert, be that expert for them. And really, it's really becoming only who you are and taking off the mask of all the insecurities and all the hurt and all the shame. We've got to take care of that. That's the inner work that has to be done. And that's why I love that entrepreneurship is sanctifying work. We get to know who we are as people. And sometimes that can be frightening. It's, whoa, what just hit me with a ton of bricks?
Yes, yes. And it's so interesting that you say that about women because I do feel also that women have a different obstacle than men. And I experienced this on the reality show. After I was on Netflix and it came out, all of the comments, everyone's all welcome to say stuff about how the women looked on the show, but
Mhm.
very rarely, if ever, did anyone care to comment on the looks of the gentleman on the show. And so, as a woman who is trying to become more visible and we want people to see us, we have all of this other stuff facing us as we really try to step out on our own. Does that summarize what you were feeling?
Absolutely. And do you know how angry that makes me? Like, can I just say, women out there, if you feel like, oh my gosh, I love Lindsay's hair, it is beautiful. And I love her outfits, it is beautiful. But can we just lead the way for helping each other out to applaud Lindsay for her strategic brain
There you go. Yeah, it's
and
hard,
her
right? Like, I
accountants.
want to be taken seriously.
Right.
So I'm going to button up my shirt because I just want you to listen to me.
Yeah, we need to be the solution. And we need to support each other in a way of substance as opposed to the superficial stuff that just really doesn't matter.
Okay. So, in terms of, and I'm sure that you agree with this, like habits are everything when it comes to building a business. Stuff we do today will have an effect 3 or 4 months from now, very similar to exercise. What are some daily actions that you recommend to your customers that maybe you could share with us today?
Inside my accelerator, one of the most powerful resources in there is what I call daily activities to 10K months. That's again where they're getting to their first 100K. And so it is very focused. It is no BS. You're not working on your website. Okay. You're not
That's
working on sweet little landing pages. In the early stages, you're going to get your next client when you connect, when you relate to people. And so I take them through a rubric of you're spending X amount of percentage of time on one to one reach outs and then you're doing X, Y, and Z for one to many because we have to do both because the goal there is to build your email list. And so you need a powerful audience building lead magnet. You need to be talking with people. Well, and I think that I will say this, we need to get out from behind the screen. Too many women that come into my containers, they say, I'm working hard. And then when I break it down, what are you doing? It's a lot of behind the scenes that's not moving the business forward. So you've got to be visible. You've got to be uncomfortable every day. Every day you should do something scary. Every day you should do something that's uncomfortable. I've done live since 2017. If anyone listening does not do lives on the regular, do that. Start there. But you need to get out and about and get in front of your people.
Yeah, the way that I like to word it, Judy, and because we feel the same way on this as well, which is people love to hide behind marketing. I'm busy in Canva because it's nice and safe in there. And I feel like I'm moving the brand ahead, but you're not. It's not profit producing. It doesn't much matter, as Judy said. Yeah, details matter later, but you got to figure out what's going to create profit now.
Yeah. I am messy and I'm scrappy. And I made
Yes.
a lot of money being messy and scrappy. And just a quick point of reference, I come from nothing. Dad was a factory worker, mom stayed home. So I have pursued the impossible. And by God's grace, I've accomplished the impossible in him. And so don't worry about someone just reached out to me, Judy, I want to start a podcast. What's the tech I need? I says, you need Zoom, a computer, and start. That's
That's
it.
right.
Like we need to stop worrying about getting everything perfect. That's slowing you down.
I agree. I agree. And I'm a big believer in iterative marketing and an iterative process. So you may as well do it so you can get some data because you're never going to guess right the first time on any of this. So you may as well start taking action, get the data, and make iterative improvements.
Absolutely. That is the entrepreneurial day to day.
It's the
We don't
key. It
yeah,
is the key.
yeah, we don't try things. We do things. And then
Yes.
we evaluate the data and make adjustments there. Absolutely.
So as you look at the future of women in online business and women, all of this finding ourselves and shouting from the rooftops, what do you see in the future here? What are you seeing?
It's limitless as soon as we get out of our own way. And so we really need to stop worrying about the past. That's first of all. But in the past, I don't care about the past. Today's a new day. Hallelujah. Are you going to step into the shoes of who you were made to be and stop worrying about other people's judgment and everything else? Like when we do that, when we step out boldly, even though we may have butterflies in our gut or we may feel like we're going to toss up our cookies, do it anyway. And the more we do that and the more we lock arms with each other, that is when not only will we have more female run businesses, but we'll have more female run 7 and 8 figure businesses.
Yes. Okay, Judy, if we rewind, okay, and you look back on your whole journey, I know you mentioned you started small town girl and now you're doing anything that you ever dreamed of. What is the one thing you wish you would have known before you got started, before you got here? What would have made things go so much easier and faster? What is it?
Just that. Be you. Don't, and I would encourage anyone to do the really scary thing, I bet, which will be stop following people. Stop following competitors.
Yeah.
I always tell my clients once every 6 months, you might want to take a gander, see what's going on. Otherwise, turn it off. You need to get to know who you are as an expert. You need to stop quoting Tony Robbins and start quoting yourself. I encourage you to go on Zoom and just riff about your expertise. I encourage my clients to do that. And a couple of them I just did that 3 weeks ago, and a couple of them have already DM'd me, Judy, I'm blown away by the things that have come out of my mouth. But if we don't do that, if we keep looking around, you'll never do it. So that is something that I wish that I would have known. Stop worrying about other people's judgment and speak what only you were made to speak.
Thanks, Judy. Judy, what a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your expertise with us today. Before we let you go, I'm going to turn the time over to you. Share with us, is there anything you want the listeners to know, and how do we contact you?
Okay, first, how to contact me. I encourage you to listen to my podcast. I'm about to interview Lindsay for that. It's called Joyful Business. It is dedicated to all things life and business for Christian women. Other than that, I'm on social everywhere at Judy Weber Co. at Judy Weber Co. But I will leave with this nugget of wisdom. Pursue the impossible. There's nothing women don't do. We don't dream. We're just so busy going with the family and with everything else. We just don't take time. Give yourself a favor and pause for 10 minutes today and say, what is my future? Like, you need to see the future before you can live it. So just dream big and expect it and go for it, like relentlessly, without apology.
I love it. Thank you, Judy. It was a real pleasure having you on the show today.
Thanks, Lindsay. You were awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Millionaire Maker Show. I hope you enjoyed this interview as much as I did. Now, here at The Millionaire Maker Show, we are here to bring you the truth about what it takes to build and scale an online business. We're not giving away viral strategies. We're not telling you how to get rich quick. What we're doing is telling the truth. It's hard. You need to be strategic. You need to have a system, and you need to really understand sales in order for this to work. If you appreciate the truth, what we're bringing here, it would be really amazing if you would take the time to leave us a review on your favorite streaming platform. Thank you so much for joining me for the Millionaire Maker Show. I am your host, Lindsay Anderson. Cheers to you and your success.
Thank you for listening to the Millionaire Maker Show with online business consultant and creator of the Millionaire Maker Funnel, Lindsay Anderson. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Until next time.